I genuinely thought for a moment that this was going to be quite a negative review of Purl, as I really thought it was going in one direction rather than another, and I will discuss that in a moment. I'll give a spoiler warning and go into more detail, but thankfully, I actually really thoroughly ended up enjoying it a lot, and the quality of the animation of this is so beautiful. This is a Disney Pixar Spark Shorts episode, released in 2018, a bit behind, directed by Kristen, and it's about this ball of yarn called Purl, who gets this job at a company called BRO, or Bro. And when she joins the company, she's the only girl there, and Purl is representing a very kind of feminine employee. She's a beautiful bright pink colour, and she's kind of representing what it's like to be a woman in a male dominated role, or at least in a male dominated company. The company's called BRO. They're all bros. They're all best friends, lads, having banter all the time. The same kind of young age for this startup tech company. And Purl, although she has the skills she needs for this role, her personality kind of stands out a bit. Well, on the one hand, it stands out as being different, but at the same time, it's kind of ignored, and nobody really acknowledges her. And it's about her trying to fit in and be accepted. And I think it tells a really lovely message, not so much to the people trying to fit in, but to the people who work in a company where there is maybe somebody who is a little bit different. It's not necessarily just for women joining a predominantly male company or vice versa. It could be something, the same message could be done with age. Purl could have been a much older employee trying to fit in a company where everybody was quite young and youthful and sprightly. It's all about somebody being different but trying to fit in. And the message there from the main message that I get from this is that you need to try and make the effort to accept other people and specifically accept them for who they are. The message is great, but I love the animation. The animation of the men, like the human characters, I guess, absolutely fine, no problem with them whatsoever. But the animation of Purl, I love. I love how the yarn is animated. It just looks fabulous. And one of my favourite bits, without spoiling it, is when. Oh, how do I say this without spoiling it? Something comes out of Purl's mouth. I won't say any more than that. But I loved it. I love that bit of animation. So visually, it's really beautiful, and the narrative is also gorgeous. But as I said, for a brief moment, I genuinely thought it was going in a different direction. So, spoiler from now, I am now going to discuss in a bit more detail. So, the spoiler bit that first kind of made me stop is when Purl changed who she was, and she became this almost two-dimensional shape. She was obviously still a 3D shape, but she was much more flat, um, dressed in a suit like everybody else, and basically acting like one of the bros. And this lasted for quite a while, and she seemed to be having a good time with it. And I did genuinely think, because it was about 5 or 6 minutes into this 8-minute episode, this 8-minute short, I genuinely thought the message was sometimes you have to change who you are to fit in. Genuinely. Of course, now I feel a little bit silly for thinking that. How could a Disney cartoon ever give that message? Or a Disney animation, rather. But I did honestly think that for a while. So I think maybe that lasted a little bit too long, or Purl needed to show that she wasn't really enjoying being this different person. Because actually she did come across as having quite fun with it. There was no real sense that this change was a negative thing for her. But of course, nobody should ever have to change who they are to fit in. It is a really enjoyable animation. It's been on my to watch list for quite a while. Probably ever since I got access to Disney Plus. But I just never got around to watching it. I think because I didn't know what to expect, and maybe part of me was a little bit nervous. Nervous that it would give the wrong message. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's obviously a really great message about how people struggle to fit in and what that can feel like when you're an outsider for whatever reason. Visually, it's beautiful. and I'm pleased it got past the hurdle of possibly giving a bad message. Purl is really wonderful and definitely worth watching.